been off all day?
I have been off
Oh,
all day. Hey,
hey, I was finna hit the 30. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna let people get in the room. So I'm gonna hit the countdown and kind of let people come in, okay? So
okay.
let me find it. Yes, I'm not prepared.
Mm.
I hadn't had a few days off like Mr. Clapton, so
Mm.
I'm not quite prepared. But we'll be right back, y'all. And we're back.
And we're back.
Welcome, everybody. I'm trying to get everything pulled up over here on YouTube and
Okay.
Facebook so I can see the
Okay.
comments.
Okay.
Uh, Tony Clapton, the birthday boy, is
Hey,
back.
I'm
I
back
don't
in the
know
scene.
if y'all follow him on Facebook and YouTube. I know y'all saw him all over Detroit all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
first question and most important question. Did you put some money in the slot for me and did I hit?
I put some money in the slot machine, but you did not hit. I can tell you that you didn't hit, but
So,
but 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 I did.
so how you know the one you hit off of wasn't the dollar you was putting in there for me?
Cause see, first off, see, you didn't send me no money, so it's almost impossible for
It's
my money to
called
be your money.
it's called a souvenir. You don't pay people for souvenirs.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
See, I told Patty this. She didn't believe me when I was there, but I was like, that joker ain't finna bring me back nothing.
Hey, I got something for you. When you come to the crib, I got you.
I'd have heard it before. Mm-mm. I don't believe it. But we are glad to have you back. Glad you had a good time.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
looks like y'all were relaxing and seeing. Did y'all go to Hitsville? Did you go to the motel?
I did. I didn't realize it was just a house. I was looking for the big studio with the lights and the cameras and stuff. I said, "Wait a minute, you talking about this it right here? The house that with the door on it? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, from the pictures I've seen, it looked like a shotgun house,
It was just a house in the neighborhood.
but but millions and millions of dollars been made out of that house.
Then roll through that. So it don't matter what size building it is.
Uh-uh.
Don't matter what size property it is. It's all about the content on the inside.
That's
Wow.
right, because you got all this Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, all that money that came straight through that little house.
Marvin Gaye, all them. Yep. Marvin Gaye, Temptations. Oh man, the list goes on. Mm.
Okay, so I'm not gonna now that you done caught us up on your adventure. Hey, just Teresa is says hey
Just T.
y'all.
Hey, Just T.
Um, now that you've gotten us caught up on your birthday activities, and you know you ain't bring me nothing back. We have a special guest tonight. You
Oh
know,
man,
we love to invite people on that are entrepreneurs, especially people from the great state of Alabama.
Alabama.
Home team,
Woo-hoo. Home
homegrown.
team. Yes, sir.
So, for those of you, I guess I did skip this part. For those of you who don't know us, I am Melissa King. I am a home-based business owner, and I was introduced to my business by my associate here and my guest, expert slash mentor, Mr. Tony
Yeah,
Clausen. He
me.
introduced me to
Mhm.
this business, which has helped me to pay off pretty much all of my debt, increased my credit score to 837. I learned how to hire my child. I learned how to invest. So all of these great things just from one conversation with this man right here.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
he may not he may not come across as somebody that can open all these financial doors, but don't let the looks fool you. He look like a party person, but he got that financial sense. So don't let it fool you. He know what he's talking about. So Tony and I do our show here on Tuesday and Thursday night where we talk to you about finance, try to drop financial nuggets, try to introduce people to the ins and outs of home-based businesses, tell you things that we didn't know that we've learned and we want to share with you. So, as I was saying before, we have a guest here tonight. She is an entrepreneur. She's an author. She's an educator, and probably got more stuff going on that I am not even telling you about. But I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and kind of give you some background. So, without further ado, our special guest tonight is Miss LaToya Grow.
LaToya Grow. All right, all right.
Hey,
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
thank y'all for having me.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
it's our pleasure to have you. So LaToya, as I was telling them, you're an author. You recently published a book, which I ordered the book. It's called
Okay.
Raising My Manchild, Confronting the Taboo of Baby Mama Drama. Something
Okay.
that a lot of us know something about. Everybody doesn't have a fabulous dad in their life like Mr. Clopton here that is there for every moment, this, that, and the other. Some of us have different experiences. So kind of give us a little background about yourself and what led you to write the book and that type of information.
Thank you. First, let me say thank you for supporting me and buying the book.
Of
I
course.
really do appreciate it. When you get into those pages, I do believe it is going to bless you. And salute to Tony for being an outstanding dad. We definitely we need you. We appreciate you. That's from a former single mom who did not have a very positive experience. But even in that, I love my Black men, especially my Black men who are doing the work to keep the Black family structure strong. So thank you. I salute you. Keep doing your thing. Your children will love you for it. You are establishing a beautiful legacy. The reason why there is a book called Raising My Manchild is because for almost 17 years, I was a single mom. I'm raising a boy, and we know how difficult that is as a female, especially a brown boy. Brown boys are already up against so many inherited challenges just based off the color of their skin. And you add to that when they only have their mom raising them. And so I wanted to be a voice for a lot of those single moms who have fought so hard to do the right thing, to be right in their situation, who still, despite that, has experienced a lot of hardship, a lot of dealing with defending those stereotypes that we often come up against at the very mention of the phrase baby mama. And so I wanted to write a book and voice for those who may not have their own voice, but also to use my story, my experience to help, to be a healing source. I've learned a lot in my years, and I felt like, God, I believe that God is not going to take me through anything for no reason. And I felt like a part of him taking me through what he took me through was so that I could be a source for those who are coming behind me. And so that's why this book had to.
Wow, it's great. That's good.
Okay, I'm just sharing this on YouTube really quick, because we don't want anybody to miss out on this great conversation.
Absolutely.
So, I first came across LaToya on Facebook. We had some mutual friends. I think you were friends with somebody that was in the business, right? In our business, right? I think we had a mutual friend. And I remember seeing her on Facebook and friending her. And I was still living in the Birmingham area at the time, but we were getting ready to move to the Huntsville area where we are now. And it was going to be my daughter's first year in public school. So, of course, I was a little bit nervous about it. And it was so funny. I just, I'm that type, I told you, analyze everything to the nth degree. So I done went on the school website. I'm going looking at everything about the school, like I know these people. And lo and behold, I see third grade, and whose name do I see? LaToya Grow. I said, I know her
Okay.
from somewhere.
Yeah.
I know her from somewhere. So
Right.
I have to say thank you, because I reached out to her, even though we had never had a conversation. I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, look, we're moving to the area. My child's gonna be in third grade. Would you kind of give me some information about the school and kind of give me, and she was so gracious in how she helped prepare for now going to third grade. She was so good about sending over information and what to expect. So I
That's
would
great.
just say, as another single mom, that was so essential. And you continue, even though Naya wasn't in her class in third grade, she tutored Naya the summer after her third grade year, going into fourth grade, which gave
Okay.
her a great head start. So I feel like you already were giving back even before writing the book, because you're such an excellent educator. And your classroom, we were always over there looking, Jet wanted to be up, kind of wanted to be over there. Because she had
Mm-hmm.
all the fun stuff going on, which Naya's teacher was good too. But when we went up there for the tour, she
Yes.
had the classroom set up for all these games and stuff. And I was like, oh, this looks like fun. We were excited.
Right.
So, I do want to give you credit for that. So, in your book, in chapter 5, now I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I have not read the whole book, but in chapter 5, she basically talks about the financial aspect of being a single mom. And I was going through and kind of looking at some of the points that she brings up that are so parallel to what we teach over here, Tony. Because
Okay.
basically, she was talking about how, she decided at some point that she wanted to go, change her life. She changed her mindset. She wanted to go to school, do all these things. And one of the points she brought up is, just because you change your mindset doesn't exactly mean that the world is going to change with you. Your
Right.
situation is going to change with you.
Right.
So she was met with a lot of challenges. So do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit, LaToya?
Yes. Just like you said, a lot of times, so I became a mom my junior year in college. So I was already in school. We all have a plan for our life. And that don't always go the way that we think it should go, or the way we expect it should go. I didn't have any family in Huntsville. I'm not from here. And so I was like textbook single mom once, my baby daddy decided that he wasn't going to do his part. And so I had to drop out of school.
And let me just throw it
I
there.
had to
She's
get a
an
full-time job.
AAMU Bulldog, Alabama A&M.
Yay.
Let's
All
go
right now.
Bulldogs.
I knew I liked it. I knew I liked it for some reason.
Yes. Start here, go anywhere. But so I had to quit. I had to quit school and become a full-time single mom. I said, I used the phrase in the book, I became stuck because you don't have a degree. You work in minimum wage jobs. You barely making enough to pay for childcare. So for me, it wasn't an option of going to school and working.
Right.
Because I didn't have that extra help. I didn't have family to drop my baby off with at the time. And so I was on that constant cycle of, as the old folks say, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Uh-huh.
I know that story.
And just trying to catch my footing, trying to, find a way to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for whatever avenue I can to make that happen. And eventually, I made the decision, okay, I'm ready to do what I need to do to get to a better position in life, a better financial position, a better emotional position, a better practical position. But like you said, you can make up your mind to do better, to be better, but that doesn't always mean that things are going to instantly change.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so that's what I did.
Man.
Did you freeze, Toya? You still there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was about to say something, but that's what I dealt with, after making that decision. Okay, I want to do better. I want to have better for me and my son. But then what, right?
Right.
Where do
Absolutely.
we go from here? Now that I know that I want to get better, I want to get to a better position. Still don't have a whole lot of help, but I know I want better.
Right.
And of course, things don't change instantly. I went through, like I said, kind of a cycle, having to live with people at times. I, have gone without lights, needing gas in the car, maybe having $2, in my purse or in my bank account, even in the negative at times, needing gas to get to work. Just that typical struggle, like the true single mom, struggling single mama. Like I said, no family here, no help. I eventually, gained a support system through my church family, and eventually was able to get back in school. One of the things that I tell single moms now, one of the biggest mistakes I made financially was depending on child support. And that was one of the hard lessons that I had to learn early on. If I was going to catch my footing, as I said, if I was going to get to a position to even start being more financially stable, the first thing I had to do is I had to get myself in a position to where I did not have to depend on the child support. Because that way, if it don't come each month,
right,
my bills don't rely on it.
Right.
So that was kind of how I started. That was kind of the start of me trying to get to a better financial place. I eventually was able to get back in school and finished my degree.
That's great.
And of course that helped. I couldn't do that without, like I said, my church family that became my family, and being able to, leave my son with them so that I can go to school and work. I didn't know anything. I didn't have a lot of financial literacy. I was pulling at straws, as they say. Like, I was trial and error. And I was telling Melissa, like, the good thing about these calls, this show that y'all are doing is, for the people who are the meat of then, like, I didn't have all these resources. Social media wasn't a big thing then, and there was not a lot of people teaching you how to do it right, how to do it better than those who came before us did.
Right.
I had to go through a lot of years of struggle before I found stability.
It's great. Wow. I gotta let me say this now, man. I tell you that the story is so great, LaToya. I appreciate you sharing your story with us, and the book. I'm definitely gonna buy it, because we got to look at it's a perspective from a woman's point of view. For a man, it's gonna be different from me, but I'm telling you, your son is gonna really value what you're doing right now, because sometimes a parent don't realize you can pass your struggle on to your child and not even know it.
Right.
So what you're doing right
Yes.
now is very commendable, because you pull yourself up from your bootstraps, not depending on the state and the government to take care of you. And then your son is watching you, waiting on somebody else to take care of you. You're passing that on. And I'm telling you, that's a reason why a lot of kids are messed up, because it's like the parents never elevated. Because if you keep feeding somebody long enough, they just gonna sit back and wait on you to give me something. Sometimes you gotta go out, take what you need, and show your kids that you ain't gotta live below average. You can have whatever you want in life.
Yep.
You gotta work hard. Distractions gonna come. You're gonna have some struggles in life, but you gotta keep going. So I want to commend you for just sharing your story and being that positive influence to your son. That's a blessing.
That really is. And
Thank you.
one thing I did see that you put in your book also, and I've heard a lot of people say this, is that you had your vision board and you were kind of going through and putting in writing what your plan was. And because you made the comment, you can't have success without a
Mhm.
vision.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I've
Mhm.
heard a lot of people say that. So from the time you got, you had your son up until now, how long did it take you to get your degree, or where you are now? Because you have a master's
So
now, right?
I do. So I had my son in 2004. I did not get my degree, my undergrad, I did not get until 2012.
Okay.
Okay. It's great. It's great she did that.
So a lot
Right.
of years of getting in school, not being able to afford it, getting out, you know, a lot of, like I said, a lot of trial and error, a lot of really just trying to, like, I really had to be persistent. I had to be resilient. Something that Tony just said, like, you talked about, like, how sometimes our parents pass things down to us.
Mhm.
Um, I I believe I phrased it. I could be misphrasing it, but in the book I mentioned my mom because I thought that it was important to tell a little bit of the backstory.
Right.
Mhm.
Because we make a lot of decisions as adults based on what we experienced as kids.
Yeah.
And I talked about my mom, and I talked about how, like I said, I'm probably not saying it exactly the way I phrased it in the book, but it was something to the effect of she danced with struggle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I grew up seeing a lot of lack. I didn't
Mhm.
grow up seeing a lot of financial stability. That was not my first example. That was not
Yeah.
my immediate experience with finances.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so I didn't know what I didn't know.
Mhm.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
And,
good.
and it's funny you say that because, to look at you now, um, you would never have guessed what your journey was like because
Mhm.
when I met you, you just seemed like this person that has it all together. Not saying that you didn't, but I'm just saying you from how the phrase people say, thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
Yeah. 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 That's it. That's it.
You don't look like you. You don't look like you've been through it. You look like
Yeah.
everything just
Thank
fell
you,
into place.
girl.
Yeah.
And
Praise God.
one of the
Thank you,
things we were
girl.
talking about before she came on was that what Tony and I like to do is share our story to let people know. We're just like everybody else. We had the messed up credit. We made the bad. I know I personally made some very bad financial decisions,
Hmm.
and like you said, now I had my dad worked and he paid his bills, but he didn't know anything about investing.
Right.
He just knew to tell me go to school, go to work, pay your bills on time. But
That's right.
there's a lot left out of that conversation
Yeah.
that I
That's a
needed
lot
to
more
know.
to life.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so for me to
Yeah.
get to be 40 years old before I learned all this, I just like the fact that we can share this with people and let them know it's not just you. We
Hmm.
all made bad decisions. We've all been through a lot of the same issues and stuff, but it's possible. Just like where you are now from where you started out, you're showing every single mom that if she decides that this is where she wants to be and she puts her mind to it, you can get there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
that's why I
Yes,
especially
absolutely.
wanted you're
Hmm.
a prime example of say it, believe it, make it
And do
happen.
it. And do it. That's right. That's right. Awesome.
So yeah, I really appreciate this. So what are some of your other projects? I know you have a YouTube page. And on that one it's more like where you read books to children or something to that effect. Do you still have that?
Yes, so I do. I started my YouTube page just trying to continue to establish myself as an author.
Mm-hmm.
My first Raising My Manchild is actually my fourth title that I have published, self-published.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh
My
wow.
first title, I took a collection of my plays. I used to be over the drama ministry at the church I belonged to. I was over the drama ministry for about a little less than 10 years.
Hmm.
And I took like some of the plays from that time and published a collection of those plays. And then I published my first 2 children's books.
Okay.
And so that's when the YouTube page came, just trying to establish myself as an author. And so I would read. I would do read alouds on YouTube, and I still do. Actually, right now on my YouTube channel, I'm in the middle of me and a few of my best friends from college, different types of moms. Some of us are married. Some of us are former single moms who are now married. Some of us been married since they've had kids. They don't know the single mom experience, but we are all having a discussion. We're going through chapter by chapter, discussing the book, Raising My Manchild, just for some deeper insight for people who may be interested in it or don't think they're interested in it. I wanted to put something out, some content out that showed people that my story is not just for helping single moms. While that's my primary audience, anybody can get some type of insight, some type of life nugget, some type of encouragement from me using my story. And so we're doing a book discussion. So I'm also posting those videos on my YouTube also.
Okay, well, I'll have to share the YouTube channel so people can go and check out because the last thing I saw, y'all were up to chapter like maybe 3 or 4. I know I saw where you posted some on Instagram.
So I just posted it's the 4th video that I posted, but we're on chapters 7 and 8.
Okay.
Sounds crazy, but as life will happen, when we recorded for the first 3 chapters, we recorded and it didn't have any sound. Because I wanted it to I wanted it to be authentic conversation, so I didn't want us to redo it. So we just decided we would continue on, and then we come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing a live one night, and Tony wasn't able to join me that night.
I was like,
you know, and so he hit me up in the comments because he was at work, and he was like,
I can't hear you.
Because I don't hear you. I was like, oh God, I was like 12 minutes in on the live stream with no sound. So I'm like, you know what? Well, I just have to start over. It's what it is. But yeah, I'm like, I had got into it, feeling into it, like no sound. Then we had the other incident where we had started. I hadn't been more hit the live button and nothing. We just sitting having a conversation because we were not live. So I've had my ups and downs with technology. What Tony say? Old folks and
technology just don't work.
Yes, I've had my issues. Now I also noticed, as you can tell, I do follow you on Instagram and Facebook. You work with another organization, the father. What's the name of the fathers? I don't want to miss the name.
Real Fathers Making a Difference.
Okay, and I see you do a lot of activities with them. Tell me about that group.
So Real Fathers Making a Difference, they came into our lives. I was looking for a mentor program for Jaden. Desperate, because I know a lot of people, a lot of women, single moms feel like, if the guy decides not to be present, so be it. I don't need you. I can do it by myself. I feel like as a woman, I can't teach a man how to be a man.
Exactly.
There is a lot that I can pour into him as an individual, as a human being. Right. But there are some natural things that I have not experienced as a woman. There are some ways that I would respond to things that a male would not respond. There are some ways, some feelings that he's going to have growing up, especially when we hit the puberty stage.
Oh, yeah. Show enough.
I couldn't understand.
Right.
I couldn't understand that. And so for me, he was getting older. We was having a few issues. He's never been a behavior issue, but to know my son, he's very peculiar. He did not like sports. I tried putting him in sports to try to get him around positive male influences. He is not a sporty guy. He loved to dance, but he's not hip hop either. He loves Michael Jackson.
Yes, he does.
And so, like, looking into like a dance school, that wasn't getting him around guys. And so I wanted to find a mentor program. Of course, we know Huntsville is a college town. It's a lot of organizations here, a lot of them doing very great work, but I had not found anything that really benefited me as somebody who the dad was completely absent. I didn't need an organization to teach him how to tie a bow tie. I didn't need an organization to pick him up once a month, show him some type of presentation,
right,
and do a little activity with him and send him back to me. And I ended up meeting another mom who several of her kids had been in the program, and she told me about them. Mr. L.C. Smith, widely known around Huntsville, Real Fathers Making a Difference. They had a waiting list that was probably over a year long, but the way God works, at the time I got on the wait list, Jaden they were graduating a lot of boys that May, and I had found out about them in January. And so we was only on the waiting list for about 6 months. And like, they are for real, I say it, boots on the ground, like mentor, like they stand in the gap. If we having issues at school and if I gotta work and I need somebody to go conference with the teachers, they will do it. Like I said, having the puberty talk, internet is a big thing now, talking to the boys about internet predators and how to, manage living in a social world, practical things. They do life skill classes with the boys. They do entrepreneurship tours with the boys. Like, it's no end to what they do with the boys. And so we became a part of that organization as mom and son. And probably, I think this is going on my third year. 1 year, I think 3 years ago, he would sometimes ask some of the parents to come in and do volunteer hours. And my undergrad degree is in business administration.
Okay.
And so I would go in and do office work. And after that summer of doing it, he was able to bring me in as an actual employee. So now I'm actually the executive administrator for the organization.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. That's great.
Girl, you got your hands in a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's good.
And I will vouch for it.
Listen.
Now her and her son have some awesome Michael Jackson dance videos. When I didn't know what to expect, because I was thinking, I knew she said he was a fan of Michael Jackson, but I didn't think it was going to be like, he got the moves down pat. And then the cute part is she does it with him.
Oh, okay.
So the videos are awesome. I have watched everyone you posted back to when he was younger.
Yeah.
And I just love seeing y'all. You can tell y'all are both definitely artistic people, because honey, he looked like his last name ought to be Jackson when he get out there and do that.
Listen, the year that Michael Jackson died, and how they were like looping his videos, and he was 4 or 5 at the time. Like, he would just sit in front of the TV, and he literally started studying Michael Jackson when the the Wii game came out, the Michael Jackson Experience. Like, he studied, and then the videos. Like, it's crazy to me. Now, the couple times that I've danced with him, we did it for a school. They had when he was at AAA, and in the choir, they did like a parent student talent show. And that was the first time I danced with him. I am, full disclaimer, I am nowhere near as talented as he is, but it was fun to do. And then we did it for a charity event for Our Father's Mad.
That's great.
Yeah, I would definitely share some of those videos so people can see, because y'all did an excellent job on all of them. I was like, look at them. Now, me and Naya would never be able to pull nothing like that off. You've seen our attempts.
Look, and it's been a couple years since I danced with him.
Oh, well, you know what, LaToya, it has been so great having you. We're coming up on 35 minutes. So I'll ask you this as a final question. And Tony, if you have anything after this, feel free to jump in. But I was just going to say, coming from where you came from and all of your experiences, for the mom out there now that's maybe pregnant, don't know where the relationship is going, about to embark on the same journey that you're on, what would be your top advice for her?
So like I said before, and I'll preach it to the end. I am definitely an advocate for child support. I make no apology for that. But what I will say is, what was important for me was making up my mind. At the end of the day, I'm mama. And especially when you're in a situation when you don't have the other parent, stuff still got to happen, whether they're willing to do their part or not. Yeah. And so what was important was me making the decision that it wasn't financially wise to depend on money that sometimes came, sometimes did not come. Because when I'm already living from check to check, if that part don't come, my whole house is disrupted. I might have to spend a few days with no lights. You know, I might have to borrow money for gas money for this week or for groceries. So I had to make the decision that by any means, I needed to position myself financially to be stable enough that that money was extra. If it came, it came. If it didn't, oh well.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And so my focus had to shift. That's why it was so important for me to fight my way to get back in school and to finish my degree. Not only because I wanted to be Jaden's first example about education, that's a whole nother topic. But with that, of course, with education comes money. That's just reality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then after that, once I had enough financial stability to, you know, provide us some consistent stability where our bills were paid, you know, I wasn't stressed out. So that meant he wasn't stressed out, because of course, if it's just you and your child in the house, your emotional stability, your emotional space is your child's. And that's so right. When you stressing out about bills, that's bleeding over to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so then once I was able to position myself to be at least financially stable enough that I could keep the bills paid, then I had to learn how to make smarter decisions with my money. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I would tell any young mom, or you could be my age and just be a new mom or just new in your situation. Don't depend on the child support. Focus on what you can do to put yourself in a better financial position so that money is extra.
Okay. That's great advice. That's great advice. I'm fortunate enough, I'm divorced, but my child's dad is a part of her life, and he does, you know, do child support and everything. But, you know, it's not the same as though you're always going to have those unexpected expenses, the class trips, the school supplies, you know, different stuff that you can't foresee coming. So I definitely understand what you mean about don't rely on that all the time, because there's always going to be something. So yeah, I can agree with that.
Right.
Tony?
Well, first off, and I don't say a whole lot. Melissa, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing, Melissa. I don't say a whole lot. But what I want to say about I appreciate you sharing your story, because just like any story on any movie, it's always the son talking about how my mama was struggling, my daddy with nothing, and I want to go out and sell drugs, and I want to do all this. I want to be this big star for my mama, and all this and that stuff right there, because they saw their mama struggle so long, right? And it's like, man, every story ends with the son going out doing something he ain't got no business, just because he tired of his mama having to feed the family. Mama got to be mama and daddy.
Yeah.
Man, sons are picking up on all of that, so they can't wait to get out there and do whatever's right or wrong to help ease the pain of their mama. But for you, my sister, you doing what you do, you done change your well, you know what I'm saying, yeah, that word. Yeah, out there. You done change that
Got
for him. I can't even say it. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. My emotions get all over the place. But you changing that for him by you saying, hey, I will go back to school. I will have a better life for him. I don't want to see me struggle. I want him to have a good life. And now he ain't got to go out in the street and sell nothing. He ain't got to go out and steal nothing. Mama made it happen, man. So I'm like, man, you are definitely an inspiration. And it's an honor to have you on
Thank
this
you.
panel, sister. We appreciate you for just sharing your story.
And definitely.
Thank y'all for allowing me the platform to be able to talk about it. I hopefully this is only beginning, because I do want to continue to help, like I said, not just single moms, but anybody who has been in a constant state of struggle and you trying to find your way through, because it's important. Like I said, I talk a little bit about my mom in the book, and you know what was passed down to me, not just financially, but emotionally also. But that's something that is ever present in my mind. Like you said, like I don't want that to be his origin story. I want him to have an example of better.
Yeah. That's
well,
right.
you definitely are doing that.
You're
So
doing that.
let me encourage everybody. Go out and get. I hate this camera because I can never figure out which direction to go. But go out and get "Raising My Manchild" by LaToya.
Thank you.
Well, your author name is Grow, right?
Grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, go out and get this book and check it out. It's so funny because when Naya saw it, I had it propped up on the dresser in the room, and she read the title and she was like, "Mom, is this something I should be looking at? Is this appropriate?" And she saw "Man Child." I'm like, "Baby, it ain't nothing." You know Naya, honey. But she was like, "Should I be looking at this?" Yeah, it's fine. Nice. Look, she out there in the hallway giggling.
It's not a bunch of mess. It's not a bunch of mess. It's something that's super important to me. It was important that I did it tasteful, and I wanted it to be positive. So it's not a bunch of mess.
Right.
You know, so whoever is maybe even thinking about getting it, like my sole purpose was really to use my journey, telling even my dirty parts. You know, I wasn't all innocent. I did participate in having a child with a man I wasn't married to.
Right.
You know, but you know, in being transparent, I still didn't want it to be mess. I wanted it to be tasteful, and I want it to be a tool that can be used to help people get themselves to a better position and situation in life.
Well, you have definitely achieved it. And again, we thank you for coming. You guys, if you look across the bottom, if you're catching the replay, her website is down there. The name of the book is down there. I'm going to share some things on my page on YouTube and Facebook. So you guys check out Grow and support her. Thank you for being
absolutely
a great example of what we can do out of Alabama. We ain't Shabbyville.
Right.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs.
Look, we're not gonna talk about that homecoming game.
No, we can't talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that.
No, we're not.
No, we're not gonna talk about that. That's in the past.
The conversation is over. Thank you for having me.
God bless you and good night.
I'll be quiet because UAB homecoming coming up this weekend, and we don't know what's gonna happen with that. So I'm gonna pipe down on that. But thank you again for coming. LaToya, hang out for a few minutes after I end the live so we can finish things up. But everybody, thank you for coming and checking us out. Y'all check out T Grow and buy the book. Check out the YouTube page and let's support our sister.
You got it. You got it. No doubt.
You.
You guys have a good night.